Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Let's Do This Talk Radio Show. We are super duper excited to be here. So, y'all know what we do. Go through our introductions. Today's show is going to be nice and hot. We got our girl Myra coming back. She's been gone for a minute, but she'll be back on the set. But we're going to be talking about the end of a new beginning.
Wow.
The end of a new beginning. So we're going to go ahead and do our intros as we do Bernie Mac.
Hey everyone, I'm Bernadette Bronner from BB Coaching and Consulting. I empower women through personal development coaching. I am also the founder of Sisters Helping Empower Each Other. She is a nonprofit organization that gives back to the community through volunteering, workshops, education. So if you ever need someone to volunteer, give me a shout.
Let's go, She. What's up, Trina?
Everyone, I want to apologize. I have a little frog in my throat. Went out the country, came back. You know how you, from the airport to the resort. So pretty much had caught a little bug. But I'm going to make it really short. I'm Katrina Martin with the Global Next Gen Event Center, a safe haven place where people host events. Give us a call on 202-439-1965, or you can look us up on our website, globalnextgen.com, for bookings.
Yeah. So it's your girl, Ladrine Howard Peterson, CEO and founder of Do It, delivering on ideas and thoughts. And in a nutshell, you know what I do. I help to turn dreamers into doers. And I do this on the aspect of career management and also business management. So I'm excited. So the weekend, honey.
Okay.
The weekends, honey.
My weekend was on the beach.
So what you do? What you do on the beach?
Mine was on the beach. We did go over to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico to celebrate Allison and Niecy's 50th birthday.
Okay.
You know, I'm in our circle. I think it's like 5 of us turning 50 this year.
Yeah.
So we're all doing something different. So that was my weekend on the beach.
Okay.
Showing off our bathing suits.
Okay.
And ourselves. I like this, the topic we doing today because, like you said, that 50 thing, just giving you that new beginning, that whole freshness of that. So we had a great time with that, with family and friends. So that's what we did for the weekend.
What you do, Bernie?
So what I did was I had the opportunity to participate, go with my friend Queen Akeisha. Her mom couldn't go to Curlin Washington's Possibilities.
Okay.
And that was a great event. And it was just good to see all ages in there, from little kids 5 on up to 92.
Wow.
And she has touched the community for over 20 years. So I was happy, and I was able to witness one of my pastor friends. She was honored, and I was so glad to be there. Pastor Dr. Dawn Harvey. She is a very important person in my life, and it was good to be there to support her. And then, as well as celebrating Mother's Day.
Yes.
Mother's Day.
Likewise.
So I had a great time. Went to church. Then my love muffin treated me all day.
Nice.
It was really, really nice. So we had a great time. Yes.
Yes. So, bonjour.
So,
of course, last week, Paris, the weekend, Paris. Like, that's all I can say is Paris.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping really short this week.
Okay.
Because next week I'm waiting for my reel, for my feed, with my presentation. So I'm definitely going to share a little bit of it. But when I tell you the most enjoyable trip ever, I had the time of my life. And of course, we celebrated my daughter's birthday, as well as Mother's Day.
Okay.
But me, I got a new relationship, man. The Eiffel Tower, that's my new boo.
It was amazing.
That's my new boo. But I will if you have not gone to Paris, that's one trip that you definitely need to take. You definitely need to take it. It's just so much. I'm going to save it for next week because I want to pretty much walk into and share a little bit of my presentation, which y'all already know I had planned for months and months of preparing my speech. Bernie, you actually was a part of me in the preparation with the whole Shine thing. It was a twist to it. So I did the Shine piece of it, but something from my pastor, he did a sermon just before I went, and it was called Imagine That.
Wow.
So that was the name of my speech. Imagine that. Imagine that. So next week, you are in for a treat, and I'm super, super excited. But big shout out to the Cheryl Wood. When I'm telling you, from just playtime is over. Like, playtime is over. She elevated this thing. Like, who would even imagine you taking something into a country, a city, a place where you know no one. And the women in Paris that was impacted by it, that's a whole different story. And seeing all this, man, when I tell y'all, amazing event, but had to give a shout out to my girl Cheryl Wood, because she did that thing. She rocked it. I haven't even posted my pictures yet, the main ones, because I've been like so overwhelmed with excitement. Y'all know I can talk. I have been like a lost of words. I lost of words. It was that amazing. Like that amazing.
We all should experience something like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I got to rest.
What?
All right. So we got a show to do here. So thank y'all for joining in. The whole way that this topic came up was I was reading an interesting article. And a lot of times you would hear people talk about endings, and they talk about it in a sad way. And then they talk about beginnings. So when Myra sent over her topic, I was like, oh, let me switch this up a little bit, and let's make the show around her topic, which was perfect. So the end of a new beginning. So let me just read a piece of this article that I read. It says, every ending is always a new beginning. When something ends, something new begins, and a new beginning is always a new opportunity. Learning to see the end of something as an opportunity rather than a punishment would help to change our whole life experience in the moment when we begin a new chapter in our lives. So just think about some of the things that you have gone through, and you kind of like feel bad about it, or you felt like it was the end, but you felt like it was a devastation. But then when you looked on the opposite side of it, it was actually new life, like breathing into you. Like you had to let that go in order for you to experience the new thing that was coming up. So given that, it's just in general talking about this topic about life in general. So if you all want to chime in now, you can do so, but we're going to go down the road of talking about career in your business. And then Myra's going to spice it up a little bit. She's going to talk about the relationships. And when she talks about relationship, it's not only going to be about love, like that's her thing, so that's what we're going to do. But what about relationship with friends? That's been like a key point. And I know, Trini, you have been expressing that topic throughout, and we have been talking about relationships like all throughout. You grow and you go through some things. So it's going to be a nice show. So please chime in, share the show. But let's go ahead and get started. So do you all have any general comments before we jump into talking about career and business?
No, I don't have anything.
No, I don't.
Okay.
We can go ahead and jump into it.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about business. So business, the keys to transition from standard to soaring. That was my S in Shine. My S. So for Shine, for my presentation, SHINE. So we'll talk about that later. But let's talk about from standard to soaring. So many times, people embark on various things, and they do okay, but they don't actually fully do their best. They don't actually like fully put everything into. So imagine this: if everybody really, really, really deeply got into what you were doing, and you do it to the best of your ability, what would that look like? What would that look like? And it may involve some things that revolve around like losses. So one of the things that that it is solo versus team.
Okay.
Solo, when you are solo, you have control over everything. And sometimes, in order for you to grow, you need to develop a team or have other people that's supporting you. You can't, I don't care how you trying to swing your cape or whatever, you cannot do everything by yourself. You know? So, and you can think about it in terms of she and how you have the organization, you are the founder of it, but without your volunteers, there's nothing that can go with it. So how this aligns with ending to a new beginning is reaching out, collaborating with people, realizing that your business will not grow. It will just be standard. It will not grow to the point that it can unless you empower and have other people around, and not just yes men. You have to have people in place that can bring something to the table and can handle their responsibility. Because so many times, and I'm guilty of this, I know I like my things a certain way, but I know, like from my resume standpoint, that's my thing that I need to focus on. Invoicing, I know it sounds crazy. I can't stand invoicing. The time that it takes to do the invoices, people would be like, send me my invoice. I would be all with their resume, send them their product and be like, I'm going to get to it. And that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? When they go through the upfront way and they pay for us, that's a different story. But that whole aspect of it is kind of like the ending part. So my ending and my beginning is really in the aspects of my businesses, reaching out and really making the consideration and the effort to have a team. To have a team. And especially for my nonprofit organization. People want to volunteer and people want to do things. So that's the number one thing is transitioning from standard. Being standard, you good and you all right, but you can soar. And I think about the various things and how much more I can do if I just connect with other people and actually grow a team. Grow a team. So that's my point number one. And then thinking about in your business. You think about the end game. You do a transaction. So someone rent your spot. That's your transaction, and that's the end of it. You might not ever hear from them again. Your business in terms of coaching, you coach somebody, they go through the program, that's it. You may not hear from them again. My resources and my services, I do a resume for someone or I help them establish their business, and I may not hear from them again. That's how I used to operate. So it has that ending that you have. But what about if you cultivated the relationships with people? And so my next thing is what's next? Complementing your services. So what if you thought about creating a database, reaching out to everyone who ever had an event at your place, and they may have been thinking about an event but not really pushed to do so. Collaborating with them, you know, you have met so many people, you know what they represent, you know what they speak about, bringing them in, collaborating and doing something. So it's like, what's next? We always in relationships or one-time transaction, but if we really, really, really think about what's next and complementing services, our business would expand on its own in terms of that.
I agree. So, and speaking to that, that's why in these next few months, I'm offering some classes. So there will be group classes, and people that have gone through coaching with me can attend, and new people. So I'm trying to level up and do something different than just that one-on-one coaching, and try to reach the mass of people to let them know I'm here for them. So yes, I agree. That's what's happening.
And just being transparent. One of the things that had me in this area, y'all know I love plane. I love the clouds, and that's when I do thinking. So I did some thinking. But one of the things that I was trying to circle back from something I had started in December, and it was the coaching program. I got sick and couldn't really start it, but can I honestly tell you that through clients who have reached out for resume writing, I just introduced and said, oh, or you can do the coaching packet.
Right.
It's
An
full.
offer, suggestive offer.
It's full just by doing that. So you got to think about the full cycle and the totality of it. No, we have a topic on that coming up late. But business is critical. Like, don't only think about like the small and the ending of it. You got to think big. You got to think about expansion.
It's a twofold for me because even with real estate, I'll start off with the real estate. And with real estate, I got a call the other day, and basically, I was letting my client know that I'm tapering off from doing real estate due to medical and things like that. But there are other things that I can do with real estate. So as I was speaking with them, at first, I looked at it like, I never really looked at it as a bad thing because, like I said, I've been doing real estate for over 16 years. So I know the ins and outs of the business, and I know there's a lot of dynamics, not just as being a real estate agent.
Right.
So that goes back to what you're saying is the end game to be a new beginning to something else. And then I'll go back to far as the Global Next Gen. I am at the point I have to expand out my team.
Right.
I need people in position to do certain things to stand in the gap for when I'm not there. So this is something. Like you said, I didn't do this in the beginning. It wasn't more so like a one-man band because I did have the support. But for the most part, I was doing mostly everything as far as on my portion. But it's at a time now, the business has expanded where I do need a team. And there are some business ideas that I have down the line. I'm definitely going to need a team. So it's just preparing me for that bigger picture. So
and even like the ending of saying the best kept secret, because it's not a secret anymore. So you need to transition to your next. It was the best kept secret. So it's all I love how you put it into perspective from your the real estate. You're ending one component or one service that you do, but because you learned the whole everything about it, you can begin your next chapter, which works for you in your life. And I'm all about working for what's right for you in your life.
That's work for you.
And the last one in this category is making every transition and experience a wow factor. So people provide services, and even from the beginning of my launch, I called it a launch experience. My Paris trip was an experience. So people are so busy doing things. Stop that. So I'm ending that for y'all. Stop that and begin to experience. You will enjoy life so much more. Like so much more. So that's my last one on business. Like, type in the feed, send y'all information, chime in.
Yeah, so for me, it would you had touched on building a team. And I'm in a process now of building a team for my nonprofit. And every time, I think I told you all this before, I'm like, I'm going to put this to rest. And then someone come, Bernie, can she ladies come do this and that? So now we get ready to do a powwow. I'm going to try to figure out what other services, because I have a heart for the homeless and women transition home. So I'm thinking about doing something in that area and be more defined in what kind of services we offer. It's just it's some good things going on.
Great.
I gotta tell you something that's gonna make you laugh. I've been going back and forth down North Carolina, so there's a location that I've had my eyes on, right? So in my mind, I'm like, you always up to something. But I know it's a need down there. It's definitely a need. I've scoped out that whole area down in the Raleigh-Durham area. And what we're doing up here, they definitely need it down there.
There you go.
So my eyes is always open.
Before you retire from real estate, you're going to get that.
I'm like, my eyes are always, I'm 10 steps always ahead of my game. And I had to laugh to myself, like, you always up to something. But hey, it is.
But again, like, even what you're saying, it's the ending part. The ending part of, like, being in total control over next gen, letting go. But even though, like, for various reasons, you have to slither off on that, the new beginning, and you've already begun to learn the lay of the land. So that's awesome. So we're gonna transition into career.
Okay.
So y'all hold me, help me. Y'all know this is my topic. This is my subject. So I might get a little teeny bit more excited about this. But keys from to transition from a staff to a supervisor.
Okay.
So for me, so I've been a supervisor for years, but I've had staff members that I have converted from staff members into supervisors, and just learning the lessons along the way, and still now coaching individuals. It's very interesting of the things that people get stuck up on. So the first one, and I'll try to go like in the order of which it happened, is when it's announced. When it's announced. So a lot of people have to understand that it's going to change the game.
Yeah.
It's going to change the game when you're selected. You might get funny looks from people who apply for the job, especially if they were friends or close. It's going to be an end to that type of relationship from a business aspect, and it's going to be a whole different start of it. But you have to be okay with it. The number one thing that I get when I'm coaching people is they're like, start feeling some kind of way about being selective. And you know what I tell them? You didn't select you. You didn't select you. Stop feeling guilty about what you're doing. So that's something in terms of the transitioning that you have to go through. You want to say something?
Well, I know it has its good and bad points. I talked to a sister friend of mine, and it's tough for her.
Yeah.
You know? And because when you work with your co-workers and then you become the manager, their attitudes change. It's not your fault that you wanted more and you went for that and got it. And then on the flip side, we have a supervisor that he worked in the group and then he got promoted, but his team still supports him.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So I think it's the mindset of individuals. And what probably happened was that individual wanted to apply but doubted themselves, didn't do it. My sister friend did it, got the job.
But that has nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with you. Grudges. And
exactly.
And then they start becoming poor performers, and giving you unnecessary grief.
You hitting all on the list. No, go, because then I can just check off.
So it's sad, but we really as a people have to really wake up. And if someone we used to work with becomes your supervisor, respect the position.
Yes.
And respect the boundaries as well.
Because things going to change. Because now they're coming to you as a supervisor and not your co-worker.
And they held to a higher standard.
Yes.
And they're responsible when everything lies down. It comes to them. So this was the toughest one for me. So that was number 2. Previous relationships, co-workers and supervisors. So number 3 is you in your worker bee. Like you're not in the weeds of things anymore, and you become that decision maker. That was the hardest thing for me, and it's often the hardest thing that people go through. It's because normally when they pick you for your expertise.
Right.
But when you're supervising, it's a different ball game. So there's your expertise, and then there's your leadership.
Right.
There are some people who are smart in their game, but they can't lead if they try to.
Correct.
So you have to really end being in the weeds of things. Trust your employees, delegate so that you don't become overwhelmed. I remember at one point I became like so overwhelmed. A lot of people, I was doing everything. I needed to review everything. And this is my group, and then it was just
does that come with like a trust factor?
It's a control
like to trust someone or a control thing, like to trust that someone else can do just as well as you do.
So for me, it wasn't a trust factor. So I'll be very transparent. I was the only African American, the youngest one sitting at the table. So I became a director at a very early age and had a lot of responsibilities. And at a point where I had a staff of 30, I needed to know that when I go into the boardroom, we went into the boardroom, and it was a level of representation. So it wasn't that I didn't. trust them. It was that I knew what happened behind closed doors because I coached my managers. And so I conditioned them into the way. And then at that point, they began to do everything. And it was the training and the understanding, because a lot of times people have a chip on their shoulder. And I thank God for my blessings in terms of how my career path went. I truly have been blessed in terms of how that went. But it was up to me to teach other people of how you deal with racism, because I dealt with that a lot. How you are responsible for what you're supposed to do. And if there's something that someone can come to you and make a question about, then you probably don't have a policy in place. So it was all of those things that I had to mold and teach them what I learned along the way. And then they said our office, they began to call us Ladrene's Empower. So it was a great thing, but it was a challenge for me.
Well, that's what I love about our office, because everyone know if you come to any one of the analysts in our office, you're going to get the same answer.
Right.
Good.
And we're on the same page. Yeah. And then sometimes they try to go above us to our supervisor, and you get the same answer. So I think, but it took us a long time to get there, but I like how we all on the same page. Right? And so that means we all seriously was trained, to be cohesive, so that we can provide the best service to our customers.
Now, I'll say I'm guilty because I never had the desire to be a supervisor.
Okay.
And I'll say there were times when like a position may come out, and I would always think about how it would interfere with other things I had going on.
And
I'm guilty of that. And before you know it. And then even the last time that I thought about applying for a supervisor position, that's when, my medical, and I knew it wasn't the right time. Right. And so I was just like, no, that's just something. I don't want to put more stress, more pressure.
Right.
And it was just, I always thought about other things I had going on. And so that's just me. I never had the desire to be a supervisor.
Absolutely.
So it's proven good. I think you did the right thing that was best for you, and it was proven good. Yeah. And you have to balance your life, your work life, because that's important.
Yeah.
Had I not made the request to move out of supervision, Do It would have never got started. I wouldn't have had the time to put in any type of energy to even get it started. Right. So, I definitely understand what you're saying. And that leads me to the fourth point of it. What it means to supervisor. Grow, coach, and protect your staff.
Yes.
Right.
Grow, coach, and protect your staff. So, being a supervisor for my career, I've done a lot of things, but the number of lives that I've impacted as a supervisor has been the most rewarding for me. Right. And I probably, every time my staff have been very large in the numbers of 30. Right. So I have supervised over 200 employees. Wow. And I have trained them and most of them grew out of my office, meaning I couldn't promote them anymore. Right. I would tell them the answer, here's what you need for your promotion. But the piece that goes from the ending to the beginning is that when you are a supervisor, it is you have to find a way to pour back into yourself, but it's that much of it. I just have to be very honest with it's a very small portion of it of pouring back into yourself. Right. To supervise means to lead these people. So a lot of people don't take supervisory serious. Right. You have to understand that you're dealing with, so when I had a staff of 30, people have different personalities. They have so many things going on, and you have to tap into that. Right. The one thing that I learned from my staff was opening up and becoming, more of a people person, because I was like, I go to work. I don't need no friends here. I don't want to know about your personal life. I had no pictures in my office for the entire time. Not like I have anything to hide. This is business. Yes. This is business.
You have family pictures?
No. For what? For small talk conversations? Absolutely not.
I got this picture of Michaela when she was in the first grade, and everybody was like, "You said you have a daughter?" I said, "Yeah." Well, why you still have this baby picture? That's all you need to know.
And the reason why I did, I was moving to a new office. I started putting my pictures up, and somebody came in and was like, "Who?" I said, "Let me put these pictures up." And since then, I never had pictures out anymore.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So my whole point, my whole point that I wanted to make is, you have a right to make that decision in terms of being a supervisor, because it's a serious job, and people, I applaud like the great supervisors, but people don't really understand the responsibility that comes with it. Right. Yes, you get an extra paycheck, but what happens when conflict comes up? Yeah. You got to deal with that conflict, and you got to address the issue. Yeah. What happened when a decision-making point comes up? You got to deal with it, and guess what? If something goes wrong, I don't care if somebody on your staff did it or who else. You are responsible for it. So it's a huge responsibility that comes with supervising. Yes. And the last point that I'll make about this is working in HR. Always, I've said it for years and I say it now. Like, when you hire someone as a supervisor, they should not be a working supervisor. And by that, I mean, they shouldn't have a whole different set of duties that relate to the technical aspect that they have to do. Their full responsibility should be supervising, making strategic plans and going the sort of that. Right. That's why I used to work 12 hours a day, because 8 hours was on my staff and then 4 hours was doing my work that I needed to do. So it's very important and vital to do that. But it's the flip side to everything. Yeah. And this is kind of like going off of topic. So for the past 6 years or so, I have been in non-supervisory position, but I'll go on detail into a position. So I just came off of a detail where I manage the staff of human resource managers. And can I tell y'all, so like over the past 3 weeks when we've been in leaders, I was a part of the leadership team before. All the decision making, I knew everything that was going on, whatever it had to run past us. I'm no longer a part of the leadership. I'm a senior advisor, but I don't know everything that's going on. So sometimes I'll be looking like I want some of that, like I want a piece of that. So you gotta balance and you gotta understand the pieces of it. Yeah. So supervisor has its pluses and its minuses too. And so I just had to share that, because even today I found myself giggling like, I wanna, like, who interviewed it? I didn't. It was that whole battle piece of it. But yeah, so now my role is being a senior advisor. I posted a picture today when I was in a group with people, so I strategize. So I love that as well. But you can't do it all. You can't do it all.
This is true, and that was the end of your new beginning 6 years ago.
Yes,
and so you move forward. But when you were talking, I started in my thought process looking at my supervisor's offices, right? Do you know the ones that were really good supervisors to me did not have any pictures of their family?
Oh wow!
In their office, I'm going back. I'm like, oh my gosh!
It's so let's.
I don't know what it means, but I think for me, I like to keep it separate. Right. And I only tell what I want them to know. And it's a thin line between personal and business. Correct. Yeah. And because I've seen a lot of people go over their boundaries and then use a situation, a personal situation of yours against you, but you cannot get promoted.
But those personal situations or that would be something you discuss, right?
Right. Right. I'm saying if you were
open.
Leads to conversation.
It leads to conversation, but you have control of that. What you discuss and who you discuss it with, correct?
You're right. But I'm telling you how conversation can go. Exactly. Girl. That's the point that I was getting ready to make. And what do you do? Say, I don't want to talk about it. I'd rather not. Then they're going to be like, oh, she playing. So I just started a business.
So the conversation can't come up. Yeah. But it's just funny. Some people are really, really, really nosy. And I've seen it. I've seen it time and time again. They will keep asking you question after question after question because you're a mystery to them. And they like, she said let me tell you, my last job, my supervisor didn't even know I had a daughter get ready to graduate from high school. She turned around, because my other co-worker was always talking about her daughter about to graduate, and I ain't say nothing. And she said, you have a daughter get ready to graduate from high school? Oh, wow. Been working with her for about 3 years.
Well, I guess I'm guilty of that, too, because every job that I done had, I left a landmark. And even when, actually for my 50th, everybody gonna be there. Like, that who I've worked with, who I've built relationships with, and haven't seen over years and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
So let me add to that.
Because I've never had a desire to be a supervisor. I don't know.
I think it's your personality.
Yeah, it's my personality.
Listen, I'm not a supervisor, and I still don't.
Yeah, and also to add to that, let me just say this. So when you take surveys, the annual surveys and OPM training, it kept coming up like, as a supervisor, you need to relate and talk to your employees and know about. I was like, nah, I'm a fan in that area.
Know too much.
But when I was at it, I had a retreat for my staff, and they talked about the importance of that. They was like, you don't ask us how our weekend is. You don't ask us how many kids do I have, and I was like, I don't know. And I was like, dang. So I made an effort. At first, it was like, you know how you come from training and you use your training style. It was not flowing well. I would be like, how was your weekend? Then they would start talking. I would be like, no. But let me tell you this. At the end of it, when they felt like I appreciated them, they worked hard. Our team became great. And now where I work, I'm not a supervisor, but like today we celebrated someone got their MBA. We had a celebration. Our team right now, close knit. And it's so funny because they're causing me to like open up a little bit. And for me now, it's so funny because I'm the senior person. So you know how back in the day you had senior people that you went and talked to. So now, I mean, I am the senior person. They come to me for advice and to just talk to.
I've built so many relationships on my previous jobs, and some have been built with our kids growing up together or something like that. So I mean, of course, you're going to have your nosy bees and your busy bodies, and hopefully you got the discernment to determine what's good for you and what's not. But I just need my babies on my desk. I need, that's just me.
But it made me think of Gianni. So y'all know one year I had everybody kids working for me for the summer job.
Don't do that to my baby.
No. We went through the legal process, but I had everybody's child had a summer job through me.
Out for everybody.
But one of the things, Gianni used to get so confused, be like Miss Ladrine. Right. So when it comes around into the personal aspect, and I remember I would go to everybody and be like, don't tell them that you know me. Right. And the reason why I did that, I didn't want them to get special treatment.
Correct.
I wanted them to take the experience to learn from what it was. And Gianni sat right outside my door. So every time I walked out there.
What did she used to say? Miss Ladrine? Or did she say?
So she would say Miss Ladrine.
Okay.
And then at home, it would, she would get like yes. So that was an interesting thing. Because she could have been up in there, hey, auntie. And I would be like, don't do that. Yeah. But like everybody kid had a job. I'm sad they changed the program because everybody was getting.
Me too.
So Trina, Myra is coming, y'all. Okay. So she will have those love questions. So get y'all questions together and get them going. But she's coming. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift to girls talk.
Okay.
So what you got for us?
Okay. So during the trip, Gianni was reading a book. Mm-hmm. She read the book on the plane. My nervous on the plane. She did good though. So she was reading the topic, and it made me think about how we may look at a word differently now.
Okay.
The definition of it now, or our concept of it now, than what we may have looked at it back when. So that's my question to you ladies. What word or topic or that you may have looked at differently back then that you look at now in a whole different perspective?
What?
And I can start it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Help me out.
And I know I was gonna have to help you out, Bernie. And so my word is vulnerability.
Oh.
And this was one of the words that it was a topic in her book. And it broke down so many ways of showing that vulnerability is a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
I've always looked at vulnerability as being a bad thing. You look at vulnerability as being vulnerable or being, caught up under the gun or, things like that. So that word, if you have not really looked into that word, really look into it, it means a new beginning, actually.
Yes.
Because you're coming out with not being ashamed of things. You're being able to have conversations that you've never had before.
Right.
Vulnerability, that word is deeper than I ever thought before. And when I thought about it, I have been, these last couple of years, that's what's been going on with me. And now I feel so secure and so safe with that vulnerability thing. I will expose how I feel about something or my thoughts.
Yeah.
At one time, you may think, you know, you want to just keep it of being shameful, or you may not feel like it's the right time. But that vulnerability thing will help in so many relationships.
Yes.
With your kids.
Yes.
It would bring about conversations with your kids, with your spouse, with your friends, definitely. With your friends, definitely. And with your, you know, your love life. Because when you're vulnerable, you discuss things
You real
that
open.
you really was really off the topic at first.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what book is she reading?
It's I'm telling her to
Because-
text it to
Okay.
me, but
because-
it's really good.
Okay.
I was like, wow.
Some time ago, the ladies that I had them read, this was years ago, Brene Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection.
Yes.
And she talked about being vulnerable in that book, and that book was really good. Y'all check that book out. If you need it, I have a copy at home. I love Brene Brown.
I'm
but-
going to see her the ending of June.
Oh, okay. Yes.
In Las Vegas.
The Gifts of Imperfection was good. But God, Trina,
Yeah, Gianni just texted me. She said Daring Greatly.
oh, I love that
Daring
book.
Greatly. That's the name of the book,
I was
Daring
going to say,
Greatly.
my next book I'm going to read of hers is Daring Greatly.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
We just was talking about that
Yes.
by Brene Brown.
Yes,
Yeah.
Brene
So we can put
Brown.
that in, drop that in the
Okay,
feed.
I
It's
will.
real powerful.
So do you have a word?
So, I got a word now. I don't know. I can't think of a word right
Come
now.
on, Bernie.
That was really good, Trina.
While Bernie's thinking, I'll jump into it. So I have two, but I'll focus on my one. Forgive. Forgive. When I grew up, I thought like forgiving was punking out. Forgiving was being a sucker. Forgiving was letting somebody get away with what they did to
That's
you.
that DC life.
It was that whole piece
That
of
wall.
I could not get the concept of forgiving. And as you all know, like I wrote the chapter about forgiveness, but I talk about a shift in my life. And that shift in my life came from forgiving.
Right.
And learning and understanding that when you don't forgive somebody, you're withholding the joys of your life because you thinking over there like, this, no, she didn't, or no, he didn't. In terms of that, when you get to the point of like forgiving, you free yourself. And when I tell you like truly and sincerely, it has changed my life. And it takes nothing for me to forgive. I have no other choice but to forgive because I know that God forgives us at the level that we forgive other people. But that was a serious thing. I used to be on get back real hard. Somebody did something to me. Oh, I was going to strategically get them. Get them.
I still can't.
All right, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
We're going to go to commercial.
Okay.
And if you think of it, we can do it on the other side because in the lobby out there, y'all can't see her, but it is Maida Figueroa Block, the love expert. So she's coming in today. She's back. So get your questions ready because we are going to do this. So we'll see y'all on the other side of the commercial.
Send us comments on the feed, guys.
Yes. Let's do this radio talk show. Advertisement and sponsorship opportunity. If you have a service, product, event, or initiative that you would like to promote, connect with us at Let's Do This. We are offering various sponsorships. We also have opportunities for 60-second ads and 10-minute takeover segments. Of course, this is in addition to our VIP guests. So check out our website, www.letsdothisradiotalkshow.com for more information. Let's Do This Radio Talk Show, advertisement and sponsorship opportunity. If you have a service, product, event, or initiative that you would like to promote, connect with us at Let's Do This. We are offering various sponsorships. We also have opportunities for 60-second ads and 10-minute takeover segments. Of course, this is in addition to our VIP guests. So check out our website, www.letsdothisradiotalkshow.com for more information. Hey, so welcome back. Y'all see who we have over here? We cannot contain our excitement. Mada is back. She's here from spring break and all of that other good stuff. Put your questions into the feed.
Yes.
So, Myra, let me just tell you one thing. While you was out, I got caught up. I felt like one day when we had the men in here that I was kind of like leading the conversation. And you'll be proud of me because you know how
you did well. You did well.
But I think I did too well. Because we started getting text messages and everything about it. So we're going to do that show again later on. But we're going to make sure that you're here so that you can lead the conversation.
I was.
Yeah.
We do need to
So
make
those
sure
of you who don't know what I'm talking about, we have been doing not the battle, but the sexes of it's been what women want and what men want.
Right.
So yeah,
And
so
asking for a friend.
yes, and asking for a friend. Good.
What you mean asking for a friend? Really asking for a friend?
We allowed them to send in questions
And we didn't
ask for a friend.
Ask for a
Ask
friend.
for a
You mean like
friend.
asking for yourself, but not asking for yourself. I get it. I thought it was like dialing a friend or something like that.
Asking. And they went in. But that's another question. But send your questions into the feed. Cassandra, I know you're going to call in or put your question in because you've been waiting for her. Because Cassandra misses you almost more than we do.
And Cassandra been chiming in too.
Yeah. So
How are you guys?
we are wonderful.
I miss you.
We miss you too.
I miss you guys too.
Yes.
I miss you.
They miss you too.
Look, we've been working on some stuff.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm gonna be real quiet though because it's not ready to come out.
Okay.
But there's some stuff brewing. I'm under construction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love it.
Renovations are happening.
So that's directly into our topic.
Yes.
We're talking about the end of a new beginning. So we've done our set. It's on you.
Amen.
So
Amen.
we talked about business. We talked about career. We're about to hop into relationships. So take it away.
The biggest thing that I come across, especially lately with a lot of my clients, is how to break up. It is that end, right? To that new beginning. Like, how are you single again? How to break up without feeling broken? How to break up without feeling like you are the only thing that's broken up? You singing love songs.
Wow.
You got everything going on. You drinking too much wine.
Wow.
You're sleeping way too much, right? All that stuff. And honestly, breakups are so hard, right?
Yes.
Even if you're doing the breaking up,
It
it
is.
still feels really hard. I remember one of my boyfriends, I knew I didn't want to be with him for like 6 months. And I just couldn't get it to like that his grandmother died. His grandmother died. And then it was Christmas.
That's
And you can't break up someone on Christmas. And then his birthday pop up. And I was like, dang, when am I gonna break up with him?
Right.
I just had to take the courage and just do it.
Right.
And just
Do it.
And just do it. It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard.
It's that's something. Ooh, no, go ahead.
It's
Go
hard
ahead,
and
go
it's
ahead.
awkward, but you know what? Everything
be
comes
done.
to an end.
Yeah. But when it
Everything.
comes to an end,
There's a new
There's a new
beginning.
beginning.
Hello,
There's a
y'all.
new beginning.
And that's the perspective that you have to have.
Yes.
So I want to help people break up. First of all, break up in a healthy
In a
way.
healthy
Yes.
way, yeah.
Right? Because we're all grown, right? We're all grown and sexy. Everybody grown. Wave if you grown and sexy. Just wave if you grown and sexy.
I'm a wave.
I'm grown and sexy. I got my big girl panties on.
Okay.
Right?
I got my
And so Dream. We got rap her in. So, you know, when we're not 16 anymore, we're not 18 anymore.
Right.
We got to be able to have these conversations, one with ourselves and one with others. Right? And the person that we're with. If we know that this is not the person that we want to be with, or if we know that he's about to, break up. You feel it, you kind of feel it. Get yourself ready. The first thing you need to do is be honest. Be honest with yourself first and be honest with him or her.
Stop faking. Stop like, oh, it's not you, it's
Right.
me. Let's be friends. All that crap.
Right.
That's please. My husband and I, we were courting, and in the middle of our courtship, I got scared. I didn't know it then. At that time, I was like, oh, we're breaking up. So I sat him down, and I said, look, this is not working for me. I said, I'm afraid that you want marriage and I don't. And you're going to continue to want this marriage. And we're going to continue to go down this lane. And a year and 2 years and 3 years and 4 years may come up. And then it's going to end up where you are now 38, 39 years old, still with me, and I don't want marriage.
Wow. So you were being honest.
I was being honest.
And the funny thing about that is, it surprised me. It was the first time I like openly heard of it, but there was a couple who got married, though the female couldn't conceive,
right,
and the man wholeheartedly wanted a child. So she talked about options of adoption, and he was like, no, I want my own child. And they got a divorce.
Wow.
And it hurt them, but at the end of it, they were okay because they talked about at the end game, they didn't want to be in a situation
There you go.
where they had regrets for one another.
don't
And each
ever.
one of them was able to break away and begin again.
And begin.
Yes.
And that's where honesty comes
Yes.
in.
Right. Yes.
When you are completely honest. That's how it comes in.
Yes.
Because if
I
you
think
are
that's the
lying
key.
to yourself or to
Right.
the other person, then not only can you not grow, but the other person also, you stunt somebody
Yes.
else's relational growth. And
Oh my
we
goodness, that's
wonder
good.
how many people are out here who are stuck in
Right.
relational growth because they have not. What is it? What's that word that I keep hearing? Let me get it. Closure. They did not get closure. Right?
Closure.
They did not get closure.
Unfinished closure.
Right?
Closure.
I'll say this a lot of times, but now we're the Grown and Sexy group, right? There was a point of being considerate of the other person's feelings. So you kind of like, you will water down your honesty. You will water it down.
Why?
I mean, that was just the immature point that you were.
Yeah.
But I think at this point now in my life, and I'm hoping everybody else on the platform, that it's no more of that.
Wow.
Playtime is
No.
over for that
That's
because...
There's no need to water anything down.
Yeah,
Right.
Absolutely not.
When you were getting fired from a job, do they water it down for you?
No.
Pink
They
slipping
shut
over.
it. They shut it down.
Fired for you with
Oh,
pink.
they even
computer
let
and
you work
everything.
until 3 p.m. and
And then
say,
Yeah.
send a
this is-
security guard to walk you down.
They shut you
as
down.
as you shut down your computer. Come on. So we are living in times where it's reality.
Yeah.
So let's be
Yeah.
real.
And not feeling like it's selfish.
That's the other thing.
The thing is, when the same way that you're trying to build somebody else up and allow them to take in what you're saying or go at a pace, you're hurting yourself.
That's right.
At the end of it, like, you're next. You can't even get to your next because you're still holding on to what's going
Hello.
on.
Right.
You would never make room.
Hello.
You never make room for
That's
it.
my
So,
second point.
Yeah. Oh,
But
That's my
isn't-
my second point is
Shit.
be courageous to move through your net.
yes.
Be courageous because you never know what's on the other side of that door. You never know what's on
Right.
the other side of that page. When you turn that chapter, you never know what chapter God is writing. And
Yes.
sometimes we hold on to that old shirt because that's all we've known. We hold on to that old relationship, that boy that we've known since we were 16 years old. You know, because we have no idea who else is out there. We're scared. Oh,
That's
yeah,
it.
I know he screams
That's
at me
it.
sometimes.
That's
I
it.
know he hurts me sometimes, but he's been there from thick and thin. He knows me in and out. But be courageous
Yes,
because you don't know what God has on the other side of that
Right.
courage.
Right.
That is how you
Right.
break up with courage.
With courage.
My husband and I, we of course broke up, right? My courage came when I left him and I went to meditate. I realized that I was scared to get married. I wanted him. I wanted to get married, but I was afraid. Why? All of these bad relationships that I've been around, all of these poor, broken relationships, marriages, divorces, infidelity, unfaithfulness, abuse, domestic violence, gambling addiction, mental health. All of that was right in my face, right in my family, right with my circle of friends. And I was like, oh, heck no.
Yeah.
I don't want this for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Number 3.
And hold on, before you move on, we also get to a point where, even though that there is some dysfunction in it, you become functional with dysfunction.
Oh, yes. There you go.
And you're accepted.
And
Comfortable with this.
it's like,
Your new norm.
yeah, it's
Your
your
new
norm,
norm.
and you
Yeah.
really don't understand, or you really don't see the aspect. But Jesus, when you get out of it,
Yes.
you're like, I dealt with that, or
All the
I
time.
went through that.
For so
So
long.
it's the whole thing of like staying woke and assessing situations for what it really is. Like, don't look for comfort and don't look for ease.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And I'm gonna go off topic because we do. Like I was very comfortable in being single. Right? Okay, I'm looking at you, Bernie. I'm very comfortable in being single because the alternative is the unsaid, is the unknown.
The unknown.
The alternative is letting and risking your heart. The
Yes.
alternative is allowing someone else in your heart that may hurt you, may crush you, may dissolve your soul. But is it? So this is why, in so many ways, we have to be courageous, because we gotta we gotta know that if you can't risk being in love and falling in love, then you won't risk being alive.
Right.
Like love is like oxygen to your soul.
I love
And I
Yes.
would say,
too. I love love.
I would say apply that to a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes.
like you said, being courageous with all the points you went down with your job, personal relationships,
Yes.
your love relationship. And so, definitely.
And a lot of times, you're talking about love, a lot of times people don't love themselves. That's why they find, like, comfort in loving somebody else or making somebody else feel whole. And a lot of people do that with their children.
Oh,
like,
please,
they
yeah.
are not happy with themselves, so they pour everything into your children.
Yes.
And it's great to pour into your children, but don't empty yourself and leave your soul empty.
Wow.
Like, that's horrible.
Is that one of the terms when they say you living through your children? Are you familiar with that
Yes,
term?
I've heard
that
You
too.
familiar with that term when people say you living through your children?
Vicariously.
Live through your kids.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But you should always be giving from your excess.
Yes.
You should always
Exactly.
be giving from the stuff that's hanging out.
Yeah,
Right?
your
Not the
overflow.
Stuff, right. Not the
Yes.
stuff that's in.
that you
You should be
need.
giving the stuff that's out, that's
Yes.
extra, that overflow.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Love
many
yourself,
times
man.
we give from our cup.
Yes.
Sometimes we give from all of we have. You know,
Yeah.
think about your bank account. If you have $100 and you need to pay a bill that's $80, then your overflow is 20. It's not 25. No matter how much that other person needs 25.
Right.
Your overflow is only 20.
20.
Right.
Yes, you may have 100 there, but it is accounted for.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It is accounted for. So, another point is be considerate. Right?
Yeah.
Be
yeah.
considerate. One of the things that my husband and I did when we broke up, my boyfriend at the time, because that's what I called him, we broke up, and he asked me to let's set the terms of our breakup. And I was like, okay.
terms of the breakup.
Okay, terms of breakup.
What we gonna do
Okay.
and what we not gonna
Right,
do.
right. Let's set the terms. And I was like, okay. And he's like, why don't I give you a week? Gives me a week. We come up with terms. We sit together and we'll write out what our terms of our
Wow.
breakup. We were in the same church together. We were in the same
Oh,
ministry
so
together.
y'all had a lot
We
of-
had a lot of
yeah.
mutual
Yeah, ran the
friends,
same
you know,
circle.
all that stuff. He's like, well, let's talk about how that's gonna look while we're in the singles ministry together, while we are, you know, hang out when there's a birthday party, when there's a baby shower. about how are we gonna be with one another. At first, I thought he was nuts. I'll be really honest.
When
I
you
was
first said it, I thought
What?
you was too.
I mean, I guess you have to
Terms.
look at it. Yeah,
Terms
you got
of what?
so much.
I mean, I just broke up with you. Can
children.
we get over? No. Okay. We met a week after, and man, he was so considerate. Okay, let's do this. If it is G's circle of friends that you're closest with, you definitely go. I won't go.
Oh,
Blah, 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 blah.
That
So
goes back to the
considerate.
boundaries.
He created these boundaries.
The boundaries.
Within our relationship, and when we broke up from our relationship. What? And you know, we break up with people who've been together 2, 3, 4, 8 years, and we don't come with terms. We don't decide, look, don't text me anymore, or we will no longer be Facebook friends, or we will only, communicate through XYZ and ABC. Give me 4 weeks. That was the other thing. Give me 4 weeks of no contact with you. Even at church, when I see you, I'm not going to say hi. Do not try to say hi. No, we are not greeting each other with the love of the kiss of the Lord. None of that.
Because even though you're trying to break up, it'll find a way to make you reconnect.
Yes.
If you're trying to
So-
break
And
up.
you want to be
Disrespectful.
able to make a clean break.
Yeah.
Do you know that if you fracture a leg or something and your doctors see it, they want a clean break so they can make a clean fix, right? The reason I believe that our relationship works now is because we had a clean break.
Yeah.
And so when we were mending our relationship back together, it was two different
Wasn't
people.
no blurred lines.
Right.
So originally, when you started off saying that, I thought that you was gonna say set boundaries when you get into a relationship. So that's where people often have problems. They don't set boundaries up
Yes.
front. You have one person who's like wanting more out of the relationship and
Right.
thinking that they go together,
Right.
when you have another person that's just spending time. So you have to, I think that it's very important to sit down and say, hey, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing?
Wait,
And if it's something that you can't handle, then don't do it. And I'm not saying that it doesn't grow into something else, but I think that that's something that we all need to get into. And the funny thing, when you said that, the song "We Can't Be Friends" by Deborah Cox came in. That was my song. Yeah. But
It's true, but that's a good point. I always talk about with my clients, create these healthy boundaries within a relationship. But many times we sometimes we get that, but we don't get how to create those boundaries after you break up.
Yeah.
I have divorced women who still sleep with their husbands or ex-husbands. Because they have not created those healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, well, I mean,
Or disgusting.
Yeah.
we really, he's still technically he's the father of my 18 children. Yeah, that don't mean
18
you
children.
divorced, right? And you don't know who else he's sleeping with. Make those terms very, very clear.
So Sonda Hickman, hey Sonda, she says, Myra, I keep trying to break up, but I always feel guilty.
See?
Hold on. Can I give you my address and you break up with me? I want to be
Break up
single
for me.
again.
Break up for
Did you hear that,
me.
Myra? She said she want to be single.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I actually can do that for a fee.
I'll say that to break up. To break up, it's a craft to that, because like you said, some people, they hurt so bad. Some people may feel like they're not strong enough. So to be able to break up very healthy,
Yes.
that's a craft. And your husband, he brought it all to the table.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you said,
Or you start feeling guilty, like
Yeah,
I
you
don't want
feel
somebody to hurt
guilty.
themselves.
Yeah,
or
so
whatever.
I feel like they
But
can't live without you.
the thing is that who are you? Like, for real, like,
You think you all that?
Yeah.
you gonna get over
That's
it. Get it over,
basically
right.
like what it is. Like, it'll be fine. I can assure you that it'll be fine.
He'll
and
be
even if
okay.
something crazy goes on, it'll be
You'll
fine.
be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, he will be
Like,
fine.
Sonda, we're gonna put Myra's information.
Said, what's your fee?
Information in the feed so you can contact her.
I'll say that
Myra, the love expert, on all social media. Find me, contact me. We'll see. We'll talk.
I'll say to what I keep in mind, and this is what healthy breakups all the way around, not just so much with relationships with your spouse or whatever. I keep in mind, my thing is I want everybody to be happy to be at peace. And so what I may be selfish about, or may feel like, well, I'm not ready for that, or I don't want this, or it's gonna hurt too bad. I have to think about, at the end of the day, it's not all about me.
Nope.
It's not all about me. It's about that person being happy, being at peace. Because definitely, if we breaking up for a reason.
But let me say this: you say it's not all about me. It's not all about you, but it's some about
It's
you
about
too.
you.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, some people hold on to relationships, hold on to people, whether they're unhealthy or not, because it's about them. They wanna feel a certain way.
I hear what
They
you're
wanna
saying.
be loved.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. At the same token, though, you don't know what you letting go is a blessing to you and to that other person.
Right, most definitely, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So-
I agree. But
and one thing, so I have witnessed and seen people who have really been heartbroken.
Right.
I mean, like really heartbroken, and in engaging in discussion, it is like they don't want to feel that pain. They don't want to go through the process, but you gotta go through the process, because you will suffocate yourself.
Yeah,
you
you gotta
will
go through it.
You will withhold like what's out there for you, because you will never be able to truly open up yourself and release
Yes.
yourself to anybody else. That pain, you will add on to it over and over and over and over again.
Jean, do you know that anything that's worth something on the other side will cause you pain?
Yes.
it's a process.
Physical,
Yes.
and you gotta
Yes.
decide whether
Go
you
through
want
it.
a physical pain,
Yeah.
the pain of discipline, or the pain of disappointment.
Right, right.
The pain of you being 45 and finding out you've been in a bad relationship for the last 20 years,
Girl, get
Or-
off my street.
or the pain of breaking up with someone at 25
Right.
and finding the right guy
Yes.
at
Yes.
30.
Yes. Yes.
That's a
That's it.
difference,
That's a
right?
difference.
That's
Right.
a difference.
That's a
And you got to
difference.
make sure that you could go through. Look, to have a baby is painful.
Yeah.
But life just came out of you,
Yeah.
right? To work out
And-
is painful.
Yeah.
But what are the results? What is the fruit
The
of
end
that?
result of it.
Yeah.
The end
What is
result
the
of it.
fruit
Yeah.
of that?
Yeah. What don't kill you only make you stronger.
That's
Yeah.
it.
It only make you
We
stronger.
are so afraid of that word discipline. We are so afraid of that word pain. We are so afraid of that word hurt. But it only makes us better. You love deeper when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
All right. So the last
And
point.
you'll appreciate. I need
Oh, the
number
last
4.
point, y'all.
Oh, we're just gonna wrap it up because
Okay.
we got a little wrap up time. The last point is make sure that you are in community. Don't do this alone.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
You
that's
breaking
it.
up with your mate.
Like so
you
this
breaking
needs
up-
help.
Right.
Good positive
You know,
community.
seriously.
Yeah, don't get someone. He's
Don't
a
get
dog
caught up with
anyway.
them. Yeah,
He's
don't
a
get
dog.
caught up with them.
I knew this wasn't gonna work
Yeah.
out. That's the person you throw away.
Good community.
That's the way you throw away, right? But you want to be able to find a community
A circle.
of women who will pray with you, pray through you, pray for you, pray over you, and allow you to vent.
Yeah.
Allow you to vent.
Yeah. And speaking of praying for you, praying with you, our upcoming shows that we have. So we have none other than Reverend Rice coming in.
Oh, wow.
So she released her book. So we're going to have, it's called Wits and Wisdom. So we're going to have Wits and Wisdom with Colette.
Yes.
So she's coming in. So she's going to do a series. So it's 2
Okay.
next weekend, the week after.
Okay.
Um,
The rest of this month.
Trina's going to be leading this session on mental health. It is actually Mental Health Month.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. There's my
Doing a workshop
bracelet.
on
This
that.
is my
Yes.
mental health
Okay.
awareness.
We need to talk
Awesome.
about that.
And then we're going to be doing the authors takeover and the small business takeover. So, and we have a lot of other topics that we're going to be doing. But we're so glad that you came back, Myra.
Yes.
I miss you guys so much.
So
Right,
the next
come
time,
to the table, we be like this.
Yes. We're
We having nothing
always
to say.
learning and always growing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have to come back and we have to bring them in and have you two facilitate the
you're here.
discussion.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it no more. But thank you all for listening. Thank you all for tuning
chiming
in
in,
and
yes.
chiming in. And y'all know how we do this.
does love
Quickly,
mean
we
to
gotta
me?
wrap it up. But what does our question, we do these empowering questions.
I picked
Thank you,
that.
Laraba. So Bernie picked it today, and it's so in tune with
Yeah.
what you said. What does love mean to me? Very quickly.
Love means everything. It means to be selfless. It means to put yourself to a side for the person that you love, but don't neglect yourself. It means to be unselfish. You can't be selfish with love. You can't be selfish.
Right. And for me, it stands from God. And God loves me, and that's the love that I try to portray. And one of the things that I really have grasped around is that loving yourself wholeheartedly is not selfish. I am so spoiled to myself. I love me some me, and I love other people as well, but I make sure that I take the time and I genuinely, sincerely, wholeheartedly love me.
Love me. Okay.
Love
I'll say, you all said to not be selfish, and I'll say selfless. Love to me is selfless because you always pouring into someone else.
Yeah.
You're always
Yeah.
loving up on someone else. You're
Yeah.
not being judgmental.
Yeah.
You're not, it's
Right.
so many things. You're
Compassionate.
not making it about you. That
Exactly.
compassion is just rolls out.
Right.
You don't have to force it out. It's just gonna automatically come. And people can tell when you just love up on people. They can tell.
It's true.
Yeah.
And Trina, you've always been a very lovable person.
Yeah.
I have
Thank
to say
you,
that from
thank you,
back
thank
in
you.
the day. Yeah.
Back in the day, not today.
No,
though.
from. I said from. I said from back in the day.
I think
you
I
still
got a
love
little
me.
mean though. Sometimes, and I get mad at myself. I'm like, now you weren't supposed to be like that. But I'm so used to.
I think you're more transparent, openly, and feeling your feelings.
Yeah, I think I'm, and then I
Yeah.
speak out of more
That's
of how I
okay.
feel about
Yeah.
something.
That's okay.
Yeah.
though.
Now we're gonna be like this. Now the love expert
Yeah,
will
what is
tell
love?
us what does love mean to her.
Love is a verb. It is action. It is moving. It is something you
Ah.
can touch, something you can feel, something that you can put in your pocket, put in your purse, walk
Put it
with
in
you,
your heart.
put everywhere. It is love is joy. Love is dancing. Love is singing. Love is kissing, and love is love making.
Love, yes.
Oh,
Love.
That's what love is.
yes
Love
it is. Yes
is waking up with
it is.
stars in your eyes.
It is.
That's right.
And Corinthians tells us all about love.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
come on, ladies, it's the end of the show, and y'all know what we do. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Looking forward to you. Send us some questions. We
Yes.
can't wait till we have the studio
So we go.
audience, but this is how we do at the end of every show. Shall we?
Can we?
Let's do
Yeah.
it! Bye.